Muyiwa. Emi is present. Muyiwa, you are welcome.
Good afternoon,
Every country gets the government it deserves.
Yes.
Whoever elected, they failed us because we wanted them to in the Fourth Republic. It was Joseph Mester that said, "Old office. Every one of us is in a position of responsibility. And in the final analysis, the kind of government we get depends upon how we fulfill those responsibilities. That would demand the problem of commons."
Wow. I think, yes, we all know that people have been saying it and it's true. That people or nation deserves the kind of government they have. Especially in the game. You didn't know them. Even when just one day you hear that Major General or whatever just took over the reign of government like that. In Nigeria will now be asking, who is that person? From which tribe? Because to some of us, until Babangida, we saw Babangida set of state, we never knew it. People closer to military cantonment or military operation may know them that, but the majority of Nigerians didn't know them. So when they now announce themselves, democratic structure might be, at least people will come and campaign around the president like that. So instead of Mr. Rappon, we must until recently in Nigeria, we look at the percentage of Nigerians who voted, so we never even had at least the government we have. Propaganders, they also are there with your question, right? So they asking them questions. Even you might faithful or whatever will say, no, why you didn't stone you, right? But because anybody who's tried to be inquisitive, who try to dig deep into their background, even to expose the lies. When people they tell a lot of lies, but you try to check.
One Guardian analyst, commentator, David Osiri, this is what he said. He said, democracy is the people's government. It is the choice government style in many nations. Democracy recognizes that power belongs to the people. It empowers people to choose their leaders, and with choice comes consequences and responsibilities. Democracy gives people the kind of leaders they deserve. Admitting this is a very bitter pill to swallow. That is saying citizens must know that it is their job to elect their government. So we tend to blame the politicians for failing. Meanwhile, we have also failed for electing those who can succeed. That is saying that before you elect somebody, identify your problem as a citizen. So that's who can solve our problem, because that's the beginning of intelligent action. Identify the challenge and identify this appropriate solution. So where are we? What kind of okay, we're not asking for the kind of government immediately now, but let's ask of, can we try to enumerate Nigeria's problems?
I think we need to start from here.
Just briefly.
When we talk about leadership, it's very, very open. There's political leadership, there's economic leadership, there's educational leadership, there's spiritual leadership. And if you look around us, you find out that we've had people that have excelled, people that have demonstrated quality and dependable leadership in all of those spaces that we've looked at. You look at the educational sector, you mentioned the likes of Professor Wole Soyinka, who became a Nobel laureate winner at a very young age. You look at, spiritual leadership, you mentioned men of God that have been of huge influence around there. You look at political leadership, you look at the structures that individuals have been able to bring to the system. So if we talk about the quality of leadership that we get, I think it's sometimes as beautiful as democracy is. A lot of our decisions, poor leadership decisions, has been an abuse of democracy. You talked about the fact that you pray that somebody should do your responsibility for you. Pray that candidate of WZZ party will win. So if you don't vote, who is going to vote for that candidate to win the election?
Angels will come from
Prayers don't do all of these things. You don't do all of these things based on emotion. You have a power, which is the PVC. It is your constitutional responsibility, it's your franchise. It is what was given to you by the letters of the Constitution to vote. Your rights to vote and be voted for. So if you fold your hands on election day and you are praying and you are hoping that somebody somewhere will do your responsibility for you, let me tell you what you are missing. The opportunity to question that government. Because in Yoruba day, you would always say that if you don't invest in me, you cannot call me a wasteful person. If if you don't vote for me into office, do you have any moral justification to ask me responsible? I'm not so just the same way caretaker committee, local government chairman would say that, did you vote me in office? No, the governor appointed me to be in office as a caretaker committee, so I'm only accountable to the governor. So if you decide to throw away that right, that constitutional right, that power that you hold, with the hope that somebody else will do that job for you, then you should be ready for the consequences that follows. That's the simple thing.
Wait, Muiwa,
Yeah.
let's look at it this way. This kind of democracy. Let's say we borrowed this from the US.
Yes.
But we discovered that in US it works because of the kind of checks and balances. You can now really say the people have power. The people are the owners of power. But if I thought they actually know, how are they using it?
Good. I think these are about 2 or 3 questions put together. Theoretically, constitutionally, power belongs to the people. But you can sleep on your power.
Without using it,
You lose it.
and it won't work.
You know what I'm saying? The point I'm trying to make is that if I say okay, I'm giving you responsibility. Okay, Mr. Kodua, okay, you have the right to travel to US next year or in the next 6 months. It's an offer, but you have that right. I've given it to you. It's now left for you to go and prepare for that US trip. So if he refuses to go, if you refuse to go and pick your visa, if you refuse to go and pick your other international passport you do not have, so when that 6 months comes, right?
It will just pass you by.
I will pass you by, right? So that's what I'm talking about. That thing has been given to you constitutionally. We are not operating military again, but our people are yet to understand. I think the enormity of the power they have in the democratic setup. They are yet to have it. They are yet to know. And all we're talking about here is like we're just trying to address voters' apathy. Why voters' apathy? Right. And that's another thing entirely. But our people are yet to know that they have this power. 1, 2. And part of the reasons is that, 1, we're operating a system since 1999 that votes do not count as expected. So people always believe that whether we go and cast our votes or not, at least they know who will
already.
So they will know who will be there. Do you know what I'm saying? And because of that, you look at 1999, you see the 1999, 2003, 2007, you see the level of rigging, standard ballot snatching. You see the level of falsification of results, right? You can see how we are moving. Even some areas that they will not allow people identified to be likely voters of particular candidates. They will not allow them to get to the polling unit. So it's thuggery, oligarchism. So that have characterized our voting pattern. So I've made many people to lose confidence that whether we vote or we didn't vote, whoever will win, they know who will become victorious. So our people have lost at least the confidence in our voting, in our electoral process, which we can say at least responsible for the voters' apathy we are talking about. But when you talk of democracy in America, I want us to admit that democracy evolves. Democracy is a culture. We are just imbibing that culture. American democracy over 200 years now.
Has just 23 years.
You understand? I was on a stretch of 23 years. And we are just getting to the level of understanding. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because, let me tell you something. Something will trigger something, right? If you see the window of continuous voter registration, if you see the number of people that rushed to register,
it shows that something is happening.
Right? And if that can be translated, do you understand, into voting, do you understand that they will exercise that power on that day, then maybe we are getting nearer. Okay, as I said initially, how do we explain a country of over 200 million? Do you understand that you have less than 20 million people casting their votes for presidential election for all the parties, not one? What's the percentage? Right? Not
That's like 10%.
Yes, it's
less than 10%.
About 1/10.
Lagos, even Lagos, let's say Lagos is, we have a lot of educated souls in Lagos State as it were, right? I think Lagos will tell you is about over 20 million people.
Look at the numbers, less than 3 million.
Look at the number of people who cast their votes in the last election, less than 3 million. What was the percentage?
Sorry, it's not even a question of the number that voted, the kind of people that vote.
Yes, but
the quality of voters.
You know what? I think because I'm talking of this voters apathy,
yes,
right?
Yes.
You see educated people, right? Mostly, that's why most politicians will not really reckon with the educated elites.
Yes.
You understand? Because let there be light on that day, right? They will stay glued, watching television. You understand? And be making phones.
Some will play ball on the streets because of restrictions.
Making phone calls to their partners. Hey, what's going on in your area? Do you understand? They are big men to go out and they will be the first one to at least to complain. As I've said this in this studio, there was an election that at least I had an interview with one of the governorship candidates. I met him. I said, Excellency, where's your blueprint? Where's your manifesto? He said, I didn't print. He said, how are you communicating to your people of your agenda? Say, this, because I know on that day they will not come out and vote.
Exactly.
So I will need a manifesto. I will need blueprint. I will need all logics in this world to convince a professor, educated person to vote for me. I don't need their vote because I know they will not come. I know my targets. I know people I wanted. So with all this selfie, with just 2 kg of rice, ordinary handshake,
you're home and dry.
Let me just drink with them.
You're home and dry.
I'm home and dry.
Yes.
And that was starting to use, and he won the election. He won the election. But if you are the
now, from what you have just analyzed, would you say that we shouldn't be complaining because we are voting wrong people? Let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean by wrong people. Wrong people, in the context I used it, is not bad people. Wrong in the sense that today, ask an ordinary man on the streets, we don't have lights. We don't have this. We don't have this. Dollar don't go sky. All those things. Okay, if they know all these things, that these are the challenges of Nigeria. Now, you look at some sentiments that are pervading my tribe's person. Now my religious person. Now my neighbor. Now my wife, my wife, cousin, sister, elder brother. These are the things to consider and not the issue on ground before we elect people. If on that basis we elect on the basis of extra sentiments, we elect people, and the problems are not solved, who are we holding responsible?
Sentiments you just listed, people will still vote based on religious sentiment. People will still vote based on tribal sentiment. People will still vote based on whatever sentiment drives them. It is part of a developing democracy. And then so I think as time goes on, we move away from it. I mean, you can't compare the 2011 election to what we had in 2015. Whether propaganda or the right thing, the APC made a lot of noise. And Nigerians saw the need to throw the PDP away and bring in the change message that was being sold by the APC, ACN to APC, whether right or wrong. But the fact is that the message of that change, in quotes, drove down to the minds of the people, and the people voted. The question we need to ask ourselves is this: how long had President Muhammadu Buhari been contesting for political office in this country, whether from APP to AMPP to CPC before it became APC? So, and he has always had votes in millions, even when he was in CPC, that he did not have a single governor. He had 10.3 million votes or thereabout. So there are individuals. You can say that maybe they rigged the election. You can bring allegation of vote buying. You can bring allegation of intimidation and all of that. But I'm sure out of those 15 million, there was one particular person that voted based on his self-belief that President Muhammadu Buhari was going to bring genuine change. Now, let me go back to the question you asked, Mr. Adeyemi. You said, do people really know the power that they have via their constitutional right? Yes, they do. If they don't, we will not have almost 100 million people registered for PVC at the just concluded INEC, voters registration. We saw the numbers. We saw the statistics. We saw the numbers from state to state. But let the election proper come in February. Let me see if 50% of the 100 million people that voted would vote. But the people know that they want to have the PVC for whatever reason. Oh, I want to use it for bank transaction. I want to use it as a form of national identification. I want to do, okay, let me to post it on social media. Let them say I have PVC. So the people understand the power of what they have in election, and what gives you that power is your PVC. Now, knowing the power is a different ball game. Understanding what the power gives you is what a lot of Nigerians are lacking. Now, I can wake up today and say, because I'm a card-carrying member of the OOO party, that is the reason why I want to vote for him. I don't care whether my party presents a credible candidate or it doesn't present a credible candidate. I'm a party man. That's what they will tell you. So you know these problems. You've identified these problems. But at the point where it matters the most, which is implement comes in. Meanwhile, you was a local government. You know certainly that this one that will have a workable deal. Vote for someone that I can see in church. I said, this man, the younger sisters and democracy.
Okay, now sorry, that's something you said earlier that I want Muyiwa getting registered with PVCs. At what point a mass acquiring PVCs after 50 years? Are we going to wait for 50? You can still wait. You can still give excuses.
It's not like we're home and dry. We are seeing this visible development.
No. See,
statistics. Because 20 people, this is what people are saying, right? We reckon to know the power they have. PVCs. Because of ENSA. Yeah. So they are tired of the whole other. Doing this doctoral, understand, on political. You are not saying, you are not looking at the implication. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's Asian Springs. Do you understand? We knew, and the first government, right, to dismantle the implication. But now people going to another thing entirely. How do we go to use both people electing that 20 million that elected the president? So they are speaking. The elites, those are the people that be forced to quick to start, they failed to fulfill their secret responsibilities, right? And unfortunately, in this part of the country, that you still see some religion or their leader a few months after condemning that particular God have the powers. I mentioned that the Asian Spring to you. You saw what happened. If Nigerians today say no to Buhari on any action.
You're welcome. We are still in the studio trying to analyze whether we deserve the government we have. I'm looking at a situation where to know the kind of power we have as voters. Why? There might be the conspiracy. The elite will come up with all kind of gimmicks, all kind of game to make sure the voters, like what you have in 1917, the Bolshevik Revolution, when Vladimir Lenin, yes. Whose father was a czar, mobilized the peasants
against the oligarchs,
against the oligarchs, against the czars.
Yes.
Pointing them to what they should do, what they should know. In no leader, but in the Bolshevik Revolution there was a leader. So what I'm saying in effect is, if we now have a leader whose interest is not necessarily vote for me, that is mobilizing the people into identifying the problem and identifying the leadership we need, don't you think that the voters will know what to do?
You just talked about Nigeria. I've had a lot of people question genuine intentions of people to make credible change. I've had a lot of people that cast, as far people that they said they were paid. One would say that they wouldn't have the bandits in Zamfara. Where we are, they understand our sentiments that we have. Somebody will come out Sunday, another very credible man of God, credible, dust in his head. So all of those would make mistakes in the process of learning to do the right things. How costly those mistakes can be is we are in 1999. This was not where we are in 2003. I'm coming there. I'm coming there. In terms of changes in our electoral system.
Okay.
I mean, we have the one in Ekiti. The reports look good. Mr. Demi joined us. We didn't have all of this in 1999. We didn't have all of this in 2003.
No, sorry.
So,
sorry, wait, Mr. Kiode. What I'm asking, all this... Wait. No, listen to me. It is people that come out that are going to vote, and it is people they vote for that are going to record. What in itself that Muyiwa can solve that problem? Not that you cannot vote.
In an ideal situation. In an ideal situation.
I'm coming. Are you convinced Muyiwa can solve that problem, or you are voting for Muyiwa because
he's a tribal man?
or your village, your elder, your sister-in-laws, mother-in-law, father, that you are voting for him. Not that he is coming to vote, he's coming to solve the problem. That is the question.
Mr. Kudwa, in an ideal situation, election Friday is a problem, and you feel like this individual can bring the solution to this problem. In an ideal democracy, that is what we are supposed to have. In countries around the world where democracy has thrived, where development has been very visible to everybody, that had been the mode of selecting leaders. About 2 weeks ago on this show, we talked about what are those things that forms our opinion when we are making our political choices. And that was one of the things that we said. In an ideal situation, in a clear situation, that's how it's supposed to be. But in this part of the world, we can come on the radio and speak all the English we want to speak. But on election day, we go to the streets. We monitor election. We do observers for election. And we see that a lot of people don't even have interest in election. What exactly are the roles of people that can help? See, whether you like it or not, I can have mind of choosing to vote for somebody because he's a Christian or because he's a Muslim. It is the responsibility of the people that are doing voter education to tell me that if you continue to vote along this sentiment, we will not make progress. I'm not saying your tribal man cannot do for a. We keep talking about 3 political parties in this election, but we have 12 political parties that presented presidential candidates. Which is it to those 3?
Already.
That's exactly where it is. What happens to the National Orientation Agency? What happens to them telling the people that you don't have to vote based on this sentiment? You don't have to vote based on what somebody tweeted about the one that was sponsoring a particular whatever it is. And that's the basis for you. So we can continue. You can choose not to vote on election day. But I've monitored the election in this country where people stood in the rain without any umbrella to vote for candidates in their numbers. Sean, the election was peaceful. We did not have a single bomb blast in Maiduguri during the 2015 election, even during the 2015 campaign. When people know that this is what we want to do. So how the people will do those things is where we should be doing. Okay. And we've taken the first step, which is sensitizing the people, making the people understand that if you continue to vote along this or primordial sentiment, you are not going anywhere in life.
That's it, Muiwa. Yep. Just from let me take it from where he just stopped.
Okay.
Because over governance in Nigeria.
Yes.
When Buhari came, he said he was going to do this, general lights, water, this, see education, see all that. What I'm saying, already we are complaining. Nigerians are complaining. In fact, to them, APC, PDP is sinners. Now, their attitudes towards the challenges of Nigeria, vis-a-vis choosing choosing people that will solve it, does it portend a positive outcome in 20?
And whether you voted in 20, I think it is not. So, but for what? Yes, AP think because power problem, right? So thinking when South Africa, with about less than 50 million population, is talking over 50 million promises, I think have they been able to fulfill? How many? On the refinery, on education, on power generation, on infrastructure, even unfortunately for the country, they promote the economy beyond what we never imagined in our lifetime. It's because they borrow money to the extent that even sovereign from grooming and lakpo, this one been taken by, that is or fear money or this
rent money.
No, if the government has not taken loan from those, it's just a joke anyway.
Yes.
But it tells you at the level at with the base they've gone. I think in debasing the economy, in just picking loans anyhow, right? Without thinking out of box to make the economy more robust and generate more money within a country that people believe have enough has enough potential. I think more than any other African country, right? I think the statistics are there and very clear. But what we are now, when we're now looking at the issue now is that, unfortunately for us as a country, which, right, than in Nigeria here, because of this, the primordial sentiments and those who are coming to rule us. Mm-hmm. Because you see, some people will just be at home creating lies about their fantasies, about their candidates, And they will throw it in social media and people will take it. Even when the candidate has, and they were attributing those things to him that he said never had all these things. Do you understand? And this is a country that a vice presidential candidate was not on social media, and they created a social media in his name. Do you understand? And they were operating it as if he was the one speaking. Do you get what I'm saying now? So, but these are the complexities we have. But if we deceive ourselves as a country that we refuse to scrutinize those coming, as Okpeyemi said, we have 12 patches. Nigerians should be able at least to learn from the past mistakes. So if 16 years of PDP we are not satisfied with it, the 80 years of APC, do you understand, even with the worse than the 60 years of PDP, I stand to be corrected. And the facts are there. Like the PDP 16 years, you are buying a bag of rice at 8,000. At 7,000, the best will be 8,000 naira.
And now you are buying it at 33,000.
At 33,000 naira. Do you understand? We know what we are buying for. Even we know the dollar. So unfortunate that go to the market, buy something now, go back there tomorrow. You won't see this. We don't have the same amount. So it's a very worst scenario that this country, the students have stayed over about 202 days now. Do you understand? And they are comfortable. And the government is comfortable when university students for 202 days stayed at home. And they are comfortable. And the heaven has not collapsed. But what we are talking about is that all these things, if Nigeria refused to learn from it, I'm saying because this man is from my village. It's my religion. Yeah, I think we bear the same surname. It's from my backyard and vote the same person. Then we shall all come back and continue to lament.
The complaint will continue.
Lamentation. No, Jeremiah started well, but the end of lamentation. But I hope we don't have lamentation.
Okay, thank you, Muyiwa. In the next few minutes, we are likely to open the phones earlier today, so we have longer time to interact with our listeners. The studio line you will call when it is open. My guests just have one question to answer each, and they will open the phone line. 0913 6000410. Please just hold on. Later I will open. I know the line is, people are giving me some stress here. The line you will call is 0913 6000410. When we open the call, we'll let you know. 2 questions now. Let me just, is it two and a half? What's your name?
You forgot it.
Mr. Kodo, I have PVC. I've been voting.
I've been voting since before they get back to you. Okay, so now let's help Nigerians identify what we mean by choice versus choice. Let me put it that way. Here you are, Okpeyemi. Your wife is contesting governorship election, and Muyiwa is also contesting against your wife. In your inner mind,
I know.
You know that
my wife cannot deliver.
Are you still going to will you vote for your wife and you're going to vote for Muyiwa?
Don't put me in this position. See, the truth of the matter is this. There's a place of morality when it comes to public conversations like this. Yes. You know, people would come out and say that, oh, it's our turn, it's our opportunity. Let us put our own there. Our local is our turn. So until the society begins to see democracy as everybody's business, until the society begins to see democracy as everybody's responsibility, then none of this sentiment will fly. I've always told people, if my father wants to remarry today and I'm supposed to MC his wedding, he will pay me. Period. That's how much I can be. So I'm going to look at you. Please, whoever is listening this evening, don't misunderstand what I'm about to say right now. I love to check antecedents. In 2011, the ACN did not give the presidential ticket to Atiku Abubakar. They gave it to a relatively unknown Nuhu Ribadu. That his only public responsibility was to be, in quote, a perceived witch hunt with the EFCC. But there was a certain Goodluck Jonathan that had been at the helm of power, that was going in to come in as a full-time president. You cannot use Nigerians in the certificate. Would come out and present himself, and I would think That because this person that I've had in the last 5 years, because of the stress of having to prepare for program every day, now you cannot read 2 pages of documents. Everything that comes to your table that you are not even signing by yourself, you are stamping your signature on documents. How do we make progress in such a country? In a country whereby you are doing misplaced priority.
Mr. Kwe,
so
please.
No.
See, I don't have this time. The question I ask you, please, can you answer that question?
I've answered your question.
Would you
I'm simply telling you that I would go for credibility. That was what I was saying.
I didn't mention a person called credibility. I said Muyiwa versus your wife are contesting. And Muyiwa is perceived generally to be capable and your wife is not. Will you vote for your wife?
Perception is relative. Whoever thinks Muyiwa can deliver, I may not share that sentiment. I may think my wife can deliver. Not because it's
your inner mind.
You don't know what's in my inner mind, though. You don't know what's in my inner mind.
The problem with this that we can translate that one to many people. That many people are even confused. Okay, Muyiwa, quickly before we open the phone lines.
Yeah.
We have identified at least as much as possible the problems of Nigeria.
Yes.
Help us identify the type of leaders we need in this country.
Well, I think the type of antecedents here, let's consider his capability, academic background, health status, his age, his exposure, his acumen. I think how agile he is to solve the problem. Because we can underestimate, when I'm talking of somebody that is agile, a president of a country. I've had the opportunity to meet almost all the presidents in this country. President of a country is a serious business. All the world leaders must have access to him.
Exactly.
Because in diplomacy, before they put certain things on the paper, right, they discuss issues.
Exactly.
And they consider time.
Time difference.
Time difference,
yes.
right. You know, I think Biden and Kaya, right? You want to talk to him. You understand? To sort his opinion before he can make a recommendation.
And the receiver has shut down.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know what? Listen to me, my brother. I'm not. This is a serious matter.
Very serious matter.
A president must have access to his governors. I'm not talking of chiefs of staff.
24 hours.
Because must be able to have access. Because they are working directly for him, not to chief of staff or SSG. Do you understand? A president that is capable, the chief of staff must have access to him 24 hours. Do you understand what I'm saying? Security agencies, SSS directors, they must have access to him at a certain level. Right? What I'm saying now. But what do you get point I'm making?
Yes.
But imagine all these people could not get access to you. Do you understand? But instead, somebody is picking your. We must consider that as well. Again, is level of education, because the buck stops on the state table, and the most ministers will give you 2-3 options. Most companies, most directors will give you 2-3 options for you to pick one. Do you understand? How knowledgeable? All you are just what are the people talking? Just gambling, whether this or this, or then you pick one. And we are talking with the lives of people, right? What I'm saying. So CBN governor, this man, this dollar is going to 170, 700 or something. What are you doing? And the man was able to speak and for you to understand. You, I think when the microeconomy is not going, like the way this thing is going, and can't you see what's happening in Japan?
Yes.
What has happened? He must be someone that's up and doing, not someone that will sit down like a traditional ruler.
Everybody come and do obeisance.
Someone that the taxpayers' money will be used for medical tourism.
No. Say this thing to you. Most of the presidents we have had in this democracy, I've not seen one that is agile as Obasanjo. And you see when you have a lot of groups where he's been educated. But we are not going to that now. But for Nigeria to elect the next president, they must consider the ability that we have crisis. If we are not careful, we should not elect somebody that will tell us we never knew things were this bad. Please, see, things are bad. If they are in worst situation, we are drifting towards precipice. Let them know. Nobody should come back and tell us we never knew it was this bad. Things are bad.
Okay.
And it's not be as bad as this.
Thank you very much, Muyiwa. Now, we're about opening the phone call. Please, when you call, you have a little over 1 minute to make your contributions because a lot of people want to make call. So the number you should call is 0913 6000 410. I repeat again, 0913 6000410. So, but before we take the other call, okay, would you think that the over centralization of governance in Nigeria is what is making things difficult for the voter?
Yes. In the course of the last 2 weeks on the show, I've had to sit down with constitutional lawyers to look into the exclusive lists of the Nigerian constitution, and it will interest you to know that all of the 67 I want to have absolute control of power central. Why would I? All of those processes, you ask yourself again, why can't state need the national grid for in this century? It's not chop platform.
So that this is because hello.
So, a policy to change the fortune of this country, a policy when it comes to this power, right? And what it may not cost good kill. You understand? And can I disclose one thing to you? Fully of license for all Nigerians, and they advertise this Triumph
Mobile phone.
at
Yes.
120,000 naira. Do you understand? Which when they did the right thing, we bought it about 15 or 20,000. You understand? That's monopoly for you. If today the federal government allowed states
to generate their own power,
individuals
and distribute
to
their
generate, we have some states, do you understand, that can generate power through hydro. We have some that apply the whole of Europe for the next 100 years. Do you understand? In Maiduguri, these states use what resources they have
to generate
and the
their
Niger
electricity.
Delta have enough gas to do this, right? Let each state, each region use the resources they have to generate their power. So, but the issue of saying that this national grid.
Okay. We seem to be having some.
Lagos 98.3 Mainland FM.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. This is the headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM. I am Lillian Aberika. Lagos government says Okada band defaulters risk 3-year jail term. LASMA seeks collaboration with Public Complaints Commission. INEC releases dates for final list of presidential governorship candidates for 2023 elections. Emirates suspends Nigeria flights for 10 days. On the foreign scene, beheadings as jihadists raid Mozambique villages. Australia's nurses strike for safer workloads, better pay. In sports, Man City signed Dortmund's Akonji and £17 million deal. Liverpool set to hijack Douglas Luiz deal with Arsenal star in shock move to Barcelona. That is the headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
Okay, welcome back from the news break. I still have with me in the studio Muyiwa DME and Ope Akiode. And my name remains Matthew Kudwa. This is Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. And you are on to the situation room. Do we have the call?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you?
At last, my voice was here on Mainland.
Yes.
The network is forming.
You are welcome.
Yeah. Apparently, Okodra and everybody, it had been discussing years back. It just come in a new dimension.
Okay.
I can see, because the same problem with different places you are facing in Nigeria here. I can hear now, this reminds me why this president said that he has never Lagos could have generate his own electricity. The governor at that time, create their own local government. But after of us, we just deny them. Because state government has its own driver license, so other states are not. So the problem is that. But let me tell Nigerians one thing. If we choose to go the way we are, they go to the street and mobilize. And politicians can go to the street and mobilize people.
Okay, but thank you very much. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I've always complained that we should just allow everybody to have a minute, please, sir, so that we can have enough studio. I mean, the problem was well laid out. How long will it evolve? 2 decades have just passed. If I don't,
we should do it now.
And a person who cannot be hands-on. See, I work for a telco.
You want us that time.
Thank you. I've just contributed. It's a hands-on job. Thank you very much. Other callers. Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Eric.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
You are welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for this program. At least I'm a young boy and I'm much more interested in the politics of this country. But you've made something so clear to me this evening, which I really appreciate. The truth of the matter is that these people won't change things until we ourselves hold the hose by the horn.
Yeah.
That is when we ourselves go to that vote and let them know that we are the one who decide who wants to be the president of this nation. Because a lot of people are just saying, especially in this Southwest, you see a mother, a father, they now get home, they see it as a public holiday. When these people see that, if these 3-4 people decide to turn their back against us, now someone made analysis for me, which we drive home my point. He said that in the case of Osun, that it would have made more sense if they never vote either PDP or APC. It would just give them a tone that, yes, these people really mean business. Which, if they let someone from an unknown party, so I think a majority starts from us. Just as the song you've been playing in the background.
Thank you very much.
We are part of the government.
Yeah.
It's not the government. We are the one. That's Sonny Okosun. I listen to that song every morning when I wake up.
Thank you very much. Yes, hello.
Okwe just opened my eyes. I went to Google it and I saw that Nuhu Ribadu was actually the presidential aspirant in 2011. For Lade Olu was never knew, I never remembered. Thank you for that. You see, some time ago, somebody called on this station and said, I'm first of all Yoruba man. You know?
Yeah.
And that's the problem we have. They will still come for your head. One has come for your head now. And good luck Jonathan was there. It was the same thing. I made so many enemies here in my vicinity here because they said I'm from the south. Why am I not supporting Jonathan? I said because he's not doing well. Now you just made an assertion concerning Obasanjo. It's assertiveness. But when we talk, we try to paint one person as a saint. All of them, they have baggages. And if we want to, in fact, if one of them is working, he's bending now. As I'm talking to you, look at all his videos. He's bending. He does not look healthy.
Ambrose,
Ambrose,
you have 5. Hello, good evening. Please, could you speak louder?
Yeah, good evening, everyone in the house.
Good evening.
Yeah, my own contribution this evening.
Can we
that
meet you, sir? What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Shino Yenem. I'm calling from Yaba.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. To my own understanding, I think that the Nigerian problem is not going to the ballot box to vote. A regional will let us try and agitate for a regional government where some of the power that is in a high level, let them come back to the state. Let them come back to the state. That's the only way Nigeria can move forward. We can still be voting. 2015, that's where we are shouting PVC. The same thing still continue. 2023 is coming up again. We are still shouting PVC.
Okay. Hello. 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 Okay. Okay. Before we get the last call now, let's look at the choice between us, the choice facing Nigerians now.
Fortunate thing we have in this part of our democracy is that we don't have independent candidacy yet. So you need a political party to drive your ambition or your agenda home.
Okay, just hold it on. Let's take this. You're welcome.
I'm calling from Sulere.
What's the name?
Lawat Taufik.
Lawat Taufik. You're welcome to the program.
Yes,
okay, make your point.
You see, like one of our guests said here, you must call on God. What do we do? When you see those who don't go, you need this, you need that, I say follow the 22 party. Person of age of that also educate me as I'm here along the road person. So I'm the one that will see okay, those who follow the poor pass down. Nothing to tell them. They are following along line, my brother is like this, is like that. What do we do, my brother? That's why I'm calling upon God. Since 1999, I've never fought any tribal person. I don't follow by consent. To qualify me and the rest. I never fought this major party because I know their party is so bad that nothing you can do about it. And as long as we continue like this, we are the same way. And what do we do? See, a lot of people that look whether this person is better than me, this is better, will educate me. You see, you still looking for one way or the other. And why you follow this? You say your. I don't know.
Thank you very much. It's not.
Thank you, sir.
Not that you don't pray, but when you pray, you do your part of it. God will do.
That's what I'm doing now.
God will do his part. You will do your part.
Yeah, see the same line.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm not calling the line FM.
Eh? This is Mainland FM.
Okay, Mainland FM. Okay. I want to contribute.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Sunday. I'm calling from Ikeja.
Okay, you are on Sunday.
Yes, all these, a lot of people have been making comments. I've been hearing a lot of comments, We should not drive ourselves go far. I believe on one person that we should put in. And I believe that person, when we put that person in, he will deliver.
Okay.
I was not in any party. It's now that I joined Labour Party. We should put Obi and put there. Obi is going to deliver.
Thank you very much, Sunday. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for your contribution. You have made your point. So thank you.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. You are welcome.
Yeah, Chief Okodo, Chief Muyiwa, and Bredis will be calling from Ikeja.
Good evening. You are welcome.
Yeah, I've said several times here that ethnicity and religion is our bell. You see, I will change my name very soon. My name is Obi. I'll answer Patrick, so that when I'm talking, people will not say that I'm sentimental. I'm serious, because there's some points I want to make. Even in me, I begin to think that I'm protecting somebody that's answering my name. Even my conscience, that's why sometimes I don't call. When it comes to this, because there's something that you people say that is very. Do you know she was not interested in that because age has come. She was not bothered about all those things I gave her. She never cared about it. Yes, she never cared. I said my mother is too materialistic. She never bothered. I said my mother, trouble don't they? After some months she died. So age and capacity is very, very important. Let us jettison ethnicity. Very, very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Obi. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, please, could you reduce the volume of your sound?
Okay. Good evening.
Okay. What's the name, sir?
In the house. Well, a Nigerian problem.
What's the name, sir?
Emeka is my name.
From?
Lagos, here.
Which part of Lagos, sir?
Presently at Igomu.
Okay. You are welcome.
For competency. You understand? And it cannot help us. If you look at the array of candidates now, you will discover that majority, most of them are just the same thing that we've been having since. Nigerians should just have a rethink and do the needful now. Let us, we have tried those. Imagine a situation whereby in this our present situation, we are talking about candidates who cannot defend their primary school certificates. How about man? What kind of who did this to us? I think Satan is responsible for all these things, which is not good. If they are doing it as if Satan now is now having his head office in Nigeria, You understand? Why would Nigeria be like this?
Okay, America.
Why would Nigeria be like this?
You have,
it's very unfortunate.
You have 10 seconds to round off, Mr.
Oh, my brother. I bet you people should vote obediently.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you, my dear. My name is Prince Wise, calling you from Amuodofi.
Welcome, Prince Wise.
Your girl is work very well. And I have to say them.
You are welcome.
Now, in Nigeria today, we only talk about 3 or 4 political parties. But yeah, we.
Hello. We lost him. Hello? Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, you are saying, okay. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you. I want to appreciate each and everyone in the studio there. You've been doing it right. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Yeah, I am Apostle Dr. Adela Bulostin from Ogun State.
Okay.
Right.
You're welcome, Apostle.
Yes, let me say this. I'm going to be succinct. Now, we need a courageous leader, all right?
Yeah.
Now, amongst all these, they're parading themselves, we should know the one who is courageous. Now, when we say courageous, I mean the one who is most courageous, because that's what we need now. We are saying that we want people to do this, to do that. It takes courageous people to do that. And so that's what we need now. And I want to say this, that amongst all these people, we know the one who is actually courageous. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adil Abdu. Hello. Hello.
I'm back.
Oh, okay. That's Prince Wise. Yes. Okay. You're welcome.
You are right.
Yes. Welcome.
Okay, for me in this country, I need competent man to govern this country.
Yes.
The man who is ready to give our country. Some of our ministers they are dead. If our Mr. President, all the ministers you have to do, first of all, we reduce them to 36. Each day we have one minister. And some of the ministers we are having now, they are not performing. So, 2023, very slow. Those who want to occupy Aso to be clear, because it's a tax. We must be clear. Insecurity number 1. Food on our table number 2. That's most important. Education we are talking about is very, very essential. That's why we only appeal to ask you to please. We win only copy America for everything. The president of America to do is 70 plus. So we need a leader who is very focused, who is committed, who is not. Nobody can intimidate him to do the right thing for this country. And finally, corruption is our problem. It's a leader. Any leader. So let's go for the.
Thank you, Prince Wise. A lot of people are like.
Coming from to go to help Nigeria because I think Nigeria, the way that left Nigeria alone, again, resources. So I think we need a better leader that to manage what Nigeria have at the moment, and we can do any wonder again. So,
we could take one more call before we round up. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am Timothy calling from Ikorodu.
Okay, you're welcome, Timothy.
In the South, they are actually educated.
Have a good, how do you call it now?
Convinced. Easily convinced to vote for their kind. So that is just it. And their population is very much high. So how do you go about that? So if
it count.
It will count.
Quote. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, hello. You're welcome.
I'm calling from Ikeja.
You're welcome.
Yes, I want to contribute. I believe on what I think most of them they are nice. They are educated.
And that's all we can take. But then so that we have time to do the studio roundup now. Then we're looking at, if I ask you, if I bring you Muyiwa in just 3 minutes or 2 minutes with a crowd of Nigerians, I will tell you, help me mobilize these people to understand
the guy wanted to campaign.
Nigeria, it seems all of us you know what? I think we don't have any serious problem in identifying certain things. We know where we are. And sadly, you see, I think, an average Nigerian happy with the situation of things as it is now in the country. So we want, all of us, there seems to be a consensus that we want Nigerians to be better than this. We want electricity 24 hours. People are having it. So it's not, the problem is not in our star, right? So people are having a dollar stabilized. People are having petroleum. I think everywhere, you understand? So people are having even pipe-borne water in their respective homes. People have gas supplied to their different homes, cooking gas, right? So Nigerians wanted something. They want the basics of life. So Nigerians are not asking for too much. And if you want all these things, to really educate our people, first and foremost, is to let them know that good governance does not recognize tribe.
Good.
Buying rice cheaper. I mean, Ogun State in
that's
Lagos.
the home state of the president.
It was the Masari, the governor of Katsina, said that first asked people to go and start defending themselves. That the issue is getting President Buhari's town, state. So if Katsina people never benefited as much as expected from Buhari, or that people did not benefit as much as they expected from Oba. Because you get a point, King, is that if Nigerians begin to, we have many social donors at least to take the money.
Okay. Okay. Let me read this thing for you so that of the people. But due to problem of commons and human rationality, citizens ignore their due good. What's your take on that?
What that simply means is that we will listen to what you say, and then we citizen education. But what are you doing as an Indian? And one of the worst things that can happen, and we pass it down to the other people. That's just the thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Muyiwa Adeyemi, for the time you spent in today's program. Okpe Akiode, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's where we draw the curtain for today as we give room for the news of the day. My name remains Matthew Kodua. By the grace of God, we'll be here next week with another issue. Thank you for listening.